What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Off the Record, and man, are they coming in handy for our people. This week alone, I got 2 emails from listeners that used Off the Record to get points completely dismissed after being pulled over and issued big old tickets. You know what I'm saying? If you get a moving violation of any kind, don't plead guilty. Get Off the Record. Go to offtherecord.com/TST, and Off the Record will set you up with a qualified attorney in the jurisdiction where you got that ticket. You will not have to do anything else. Just send them a copy of the ticket, fill out some basic information, and they take over and do the rest. They have an amazing success rate, and you can get 10% off all legal services booked through Off the Record using our code at offtherecord.com/TST.
All right, folks, on this episode of the podcast, Zach and I are on a little road trip and using the time wisely to record this show, in which we review the new RTR Spec 3 Mustang. This thing is super cool. Can't wait to tell you all about it. Plus, Koenigsegg has retaken the Laguna Seca lap record and a whole lot more. On the Smoking Tire Podcast, let's go.
Hi, podcast people. Matt here, Zach here. We are doing a road show today. We're out of the office, and this is our auto reply. We're driving a 911 out to Utah for a video thing that you guys are going to see real soon. Don't want to give too much away just yet, but if you are watching the video and you're like, hey, they're in a nicely spec'd 911, you'd be right. We are. And if you hear flat 6 engine in the background, well, that's your eyes are not and ears are not lying to you, folks. So we're leaving Barstow right now, heading towards Las Vegas, which we're going to drive through and then to Utah. But first, we're going to go to this pizza place in Vegas that our friend Thaddeus keeps talking about, called 00 Pies, I think it's called. So we're just gonna roll this on our way to Vegas. What do we got today? Well, Zach, mostly Zach, but some of I has been driving the RTR Mustang.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about that? You want to start there?
Yeah, let's start there. So RTR, Von Gittin Jr., right?
Ready to
rock. He's basically becoming the Carroll Shelby or Jack Roush of our generation. Like, you know, pretty much. I mean, he's got like
trying, yeah.
He's won some things, not road racing, but he's won some things. He's that for our generation. So put his name on it, but he also improves the cars. So we drove the Spec 3. There's 3 levels, 1, 2, 3. First one is appearance mostly, little suspension, no power upgrades. Second one is like even more of both of those things. This has 810 horsepower.
Yeah, this one has a Whipple on it.
It has a 3-liter Whipple, which is bigger than the blower that came on the GT500 in 2022.
Yeah.
So it does make a little more power. It makes a little bit more torque. But
it's manual.
But this one's manual.
Yeah.
However, it's not the Tremec. I believe it's based. Because it's based on the Mustang GT. So it's just the normal Getrag. It does feel better than the GT Trans felt in years past, but I did not see anything in the spec sheet that said RTR changes anything with the shifting. So that might just be that Ford has refined that transmission after getting sued in a class action thing. So the shifters felt pretty good.
When I went to drive the stock Mustang Performance Pack when it came out, whatever it was, 2 years ago.
Yep.
I did remark that the shifter was improved in that car from previous ones. So I don't know. They've definitely changed the knob. It has the metal knob.
It does.
And the metal knob is a different weight from the stock knob, which does you're moving a weight around. So I don't know if anyone out there has ever changed their shifter to an aftermarket one. And you can, I'm talking just about the knob, not the mechanism. If you make the knob lighter or heavier, or if you make the length of the shifter rod shaft taller or shorter, you can really change the feel of the shifting action
Sure.
without changing anything mechanical, right? I remember back in the day, Rob Ferretti was unhappy with any of the offerings of short throw shifters for his C5 Corvette. He didn't like any of them. So he took a stock shifter and just cut it down 2 inches.
Yeah.
And so he had this very tiny little, almost like a BMW 1M little shifter, right?
Right.
The little stubby shifter, almost like that in his Corvette, and it really felt nice.
Well, but it also probably increased the effort needed to move it because
Right.
the lever has gotten shorter.
Right, but not as much as if the real bolt action.
Right.
Gung, gung, gung. I had one of those. I had a Hearst or a Billet Pro or one of those, ones you buy from like Jegs, and it was really gung, gung, gung. And Rob's was much more slick, like almost like a factory feel, but a little heavier and a physically shorter throw.
Because I guess he didn't change the other mechanism, so it was factory, but it just required more effort because it had shorter throws.
Right, and so if your car came from the factory with like a heavier shift knob, and you put a lighter shift knob on it, it might actually increase the feeling of resistance going through the gears because you don't have the weight of the knob. Once you get that weight moving, it helps you the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And conversely, if you put a heavy shift knob where there was not one before, it may actually make your shift action easier because the inertia of the knob will help you go through the thing. It's a funky thing.
It is a weird thing because, the heavier thing, an object at rest will remain at rest.
Right.
But once you start pressing on it, it can help it kind of get out of those locks.
Yeah.
What was funny about the RTR shifter is that it's kind of asymmetrical. For people listening, what is it? It looks like a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
But one side of it, the side that faces you, is flat and has RTR etched in it, which looks cool. But I kept wanting that flat side to be on the far side for my fingers to like press on.
Oh.
The only time I recognized its benefit was pushing from like 2 to 3 or 4 to 3, like pushing forward. But I just kept, if it was on the other side, I couldn't see the RTR etching.
Right.
That was just a weird little thing. Pros. I took the car to the canyons, I filmed it. I thought the shock tuning, which they have their own RTR tactical performance coilover suspension.
I mean,
it's filled with tiny guns. It's tiny guns inside the shocks.
The recoil is incredible.
Recoil's good. Recoil, also a good video starring BJ Baldwin, jumping trucks, flying through the air. I don't know why I'm doing that. The suspension was good. Damping was good. Response was nice. But on the highway, driving all the bad highways on the 405, it actually still rode pretty well. I thought they found the balance perfectly. And and it has new adjustable sway bars too, which were also set up well. So in the corners, it dove in pretty quick. It didn't lean that much. There was enough where I could tell that, I could feel the G-forces and see them in the hood. But it was a really good balance of stiff bars and like medium suspension.
I didn't drive it in the canyons. I drove it around town. I drove it on the highway. I had been traveling, so I just didn't have the time to go up there. But I thought it was a pretty good balance between ride and handling and body control, actually. It was nice. It was sort of like, to me, it was like if the dark horse is the M5, then this is like the Alpina.
Yes.
Where it effectively achieves a similar thing, but it actually, it's a little more pleasant on the everyday.
Yeah. It also had, if you noticed, huge sidewall.
Yeah.
The rear tires were so thick. Like, I kept reading the section number over and over, and I'm like, is that right? Is that, like, it looks like a 50. It looks like a drag tire in the back. It's so thick. It's not like a dumb 21-inch wheel with rubber bands on it. So that probably contributes to the comfort.
I think it's a 20, right?
It's a 20-inch wheel with just so much sidewall. I mean, the thing looked rad. It had little lip spoiler on it. It's got like a whole new front fascia. It's got all these vents and intakes and things, and there's underbody aero.
It does look good, but I think also kind of like an Alpina, it's pretty subtle.
Yes.
Like you wouldn't necessarily, if it didn't say RTR like across the windshield, I don't think you necessarily would know how it was different from a regular, like, my one thing about it is I actually have very few notes for how it drives. I think that JR and his team have basically made a Mustang GT drive as good as you can make a Mustang GT drive.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty much. I mean, short of having mag ride in like the Mach 1,
right,
or something like that. And when we've driven the Track Pack 2 GTs, those tend to be stiffer, and too stiff for around town.
Yeah, like I want this as a road car, not a track car, which
definitely.
I think is great. But it's really expensive.
It's super expensive, and I need to do the math on this before my video goes up, but it's $107,000, which is crazy.
This one, the one that we have.
This one, because the package is like $30,000 or something like that, and then and this thing had heated, cooled seats. It had like every single option.
I would not get this package on any car that didn't have bucket seats, by the way.
The seats are so bad.
To see a six-figure price tag in a performance car with those seats is like brutally bad.
I'm moving around. Like I had to brace myself with my legs, and this is a problem with so many Fords I've driven with it. Anything that doesn't have Recaros.
Yeah.
The Ford seats, these seats are honestly like, in some ways worse than the ones in your Mach-E. Like the shape of them and stuff, and the bolstering is almost equal.
Yeah.
So it's very, very pointless. Where was I headed?
But for that kind of money, to have the basic seats and to have styling that is, I think, attractive and tasteful, but actually rather subtle. It's not as like in your face, and not a lot has changed for something that is six figures.
I saw a GT500. I might have actually seen one of your customers' cars when I was out with this thing. So I got a good look at this like baby blue metallic GT500. And it does stand out because of the taller wing in the back and the front fascia, of course.
Yeah.
Now, I really like the way the lip spoiler looks on this car. I think it's a good looking car. But to your point, it's a real like, if you know, you know, bro.
Right.
If anyone sees you on the highway, they'll probably just think you put a wing on the trunk of your GT. And because, like, the front fascia is subtle, the LEDs around the intakes, like, you need to know Mustangs to know that this isn't just a GT with some stuff stuck onto it. And you definitely won't guess that it costs that much money. So, to go back to the math, one, inflation is a huge part of it. And our dollar has devalued, I think, 40% in, like, 3 years is part of it. So, if this car was $60,000, which is what the Mach 1 cost like 4 years ago when we drove it, I'd go, wow, that's a pretty good bargain. You're getting a really strong car, rides great, tons of power for what a Mach 1 fully loaded cost. But I think, it's either inflation plus profit plus whatever. $107,000 is so much money for something that isn't as collectible maybe as a GT500.
Yeah.
Doesn't have, if you want the manual, great, but if you want like the performance of that transmission.
Well, the GT500 also has a lot of differences that can justify its price tag.
Forged internals, I believe.
Yeah, it has a different engine block. It's
a
different engine on top. It's got the supercharger. It's got the Tremec auto, dual clutch.
Right.
Which, say what you want, but that's obvious. That's clearly an extremely premium upgrade. And some people might prefer manual, and I get it, but like, you could see why a dual clutch costs more.
Yep.
For over six figures, you're also talking about carbon fiber wheels, which are very expensive. And you're definitely getting bucket seats. You're definitely getting uniquely trimmed interior in terms of the Alcantara and the suede and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like, I think like, and I mean, yes, that Shelby is now out of production, right? So you're not getting.
That's the thing. When I tried to look at like the new cars today for $100,000, but the speed is still pretty competitive. I mean, you can get a fully loaded like BMW competition like X-Drive.
Yeah.
The one we drove a few years ago was like $92,000. Yes, it has less horsepower. I would guarantee it's faster on a racetrack if you're looking for that kind of thing. There are fewer fun $100,000 cars now, which is a weird thing to say, but like Porsche, the 718 and the Cayman, all you can get is the GT4 RS. The C63 has a terrible engine.
Yeah.
So, there's less fun cars all around, but this is just so much money for, what effectively to most people will just look like a GT that has a blower on it.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot, I think it has a character that is sort of unique in the space right now. Front engine, rear drive, huge power, manual gearbox.
Yeah.
Real throaty engine sound. The cold start is amazing on this car.
Yeah.
This cold start is seriously in the top few I've heard. I mean, it's got the right tone, the right volume, the right anger. It's the right snap and bark. It's really, really nice.
It's great, and it's got the adjustable exhaust. So once it's cold started, I was able to hit the button.
Yeah.
And throw it into quiet mode. From an experience perspective, because I feel like I've been very critical, I had a blast.
Yeah.
Car rode well, sounded great, did burnouts. It talked to so many parts of my car youth and my car present that it's really hard to find these days.
And I think they've done, if I had to choose which one I would prefer, if I'm a huge Mustang guy and I'm thinking I want a stick shift Mustang to drive daily for the next couple of years, I'd get an RTR over a Dark Horse.
Yeah.
I would. I totally would.
I would too. It rode better. It had the same steering problem the Dark Horse has.
Which is no feel. But it didn't tramline like the Dark Horse does.
Right. It didn't tramline, and the tires were a little bit softer, and I don't know, it still had plenty of grip. I had plenty of fun in the canyons that I don't think would be really surpassed that much by the Dark Horse. And the Dark Horse comes with all the compromise when you drive to the canyons.
Yeah.
As well as, I was going to say price premium, but I guess that's not really true.
The Dark Horse I drove was $74,000, so it's not like that was cheap.
Yeah.
I will say, I think, we need to pause show.
Yeah,
Folks, we got to take a quick break for advertisements, but this one, boy, I couldn't be happier with this one. Brooklyn Bedding is in the house. They sent us a new king-size mattress to try out, and they were like, look, I guarantee that your bed is not as good as our bed. We're going to send you a new bed. It's going to feel like a unbelievable high-end mattress experience, and this is a totally reasonably priced mattress. Mine is like the elite one. It's actually the nicest one that they make, and it still doesn't cost a fortune. And their high-quality materials are designed to last a lifetime. It's like my bed got a first-class upgrade without the first-class price. Look, I don't mess around with beds, okay? I have a bad back. I have bad knees. I need support. I'm obviously heavy, and so I need a bed that won't sag after a year. And so while I've only had the Brooklyn Bedding mattress for a month, I am real confident that this is a well-made bed. The materials feel good, the craftsmanship is tight, and no matter which side of the bed I sleep on, it feels like a really, it's firm on the bottom, but soft on top. So it's soft to the touch, but firm in the support. I really, really like it. It is a masterpiece. And Brooklyn Bedding makes every mattress in their Arizona factory. No middlemen, no gimmicks, just top-tier quality and real American craftsmanship. And they know sleep is not one size fits all. That's why they offer 10 different mattresses for everybody, every sleep style, even hard-to-find sizes. They've got a sleep quiz on their website, and you can find your perfect match in under 2 minutes. Do you sleep hot? Well, I sleep hot, and Brooklyn Bedding uses Glacio-Tex covers and Copperflex foam to help keep you cool and comfortable all night long. And Brooklyn Bedding offers a 120-night comfort trial. Love it, or they'll help you return or swap it hassle-free. Go to brooklynbedding.com and use promo code TIRE at checkout to get 30% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. brooklynbedding.com, promo code TIRE, 30% off site-wide. Support our show. Let them know we sent you after checkout. brooklynbedding.com, promo code TIRE. I'm telling you guys, I have never slept better in my own house, and you can too. We are also brought to you today by DeleteMe. You know DeleteMe. I've been talking about them for probably a year now. I guess it's maybe almost been a year. They do the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from data broker websites. What is a data broker website?
Pretty much anytime you sign up for something online, your data gets sold to a data broker website who then sell it to other people who can do whatever the heck they want with it, right? And so DeleteMe knows that your privacy is worth protecting. So when you sign up with DeleteMe, you provide them with your personal information that you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. Then a couple of days later, they're going to send you a personalized report showing all the places they found your information. Now, some of that information can get automatically deleted. Some of it requires a couple of clicks. Sometimes you have to do a digital signature or something else, another step. But either way, it's not a one-time service. Once that all happens, then like a month later, they send you the next report and then the next one. And each time, DeleteMe finds less and less because there's less and less out there. It's never going to go to zero because we keep using the internet, but DeleteMe is always there looking out for you, removing this stuff in real time. In my case, I end up getting a lot less fake phone calls, scam text messages, things like that. My problem has always been with the phone texts, the fake texts, and those have really gone down compared to my wife, who does not use DeleteMe, even though we both have a very similar phone plan. So take control of your data, keep your private life private by signing up for DeleteMe now at a special discount for our listeners, 20% off your DeleteMe plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/tire and use promo code TIRE at checkout. That's the only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/tire and enter code TIRE at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/tire, code TIRE. And now back to the show.
Pardon the interruption, you guys. We had to take an ad sales phone call and stop the show. But I remember what we were talking about. I was going to say, I used to really get down on Mustang GT-based aftermarket performance packages that would advertise like over 700 horsepower, but the cars never really felt that fast.
Right.
You know, like, and in the case of this RTR, I mean, look, the GTD is 815 horsepower, so I have a pretty direct, you know, but I'll say it's not so much that this car accelerates like the GTD, because it doesn't have the gearbox, it doesn't have the super sticky rear tires. It's definitely more tail happy and, you know, turns tire into smoke more so than spin.
Sure
but
does.
It has that wildness that you want that you don't actually get from the GTD. The GTD is very planted.
Yeah.
It's very, you know,
It's serious.
It's serious.
I mean, it is a GTD Porsche in a way.
Right.
When I drive a Porsche, I never think I'm going to do a burnout in this or try to slide it here or whatever.
Right. This is built by a drifter, not a racer. So, although it's not the same as 800 Porsche horsepower or 800 Ferrari or McLaren horsepower, when you put your foot down, it feels really fast.
Yep.
And when you're just cruising around, the blower doesn't seem to get in the way of anything.
Well, and what I noticed is that it doesn't feel. I mean, I was at altitude; it was 80 degrees, so there was some compromise there. But part of that lack of feel of speed is like there's a squat to the suspension, a squat to the tire. The seat is kind of soft. I think all of that like absorbs the acceleration a little bit. Versus a McLaren, the seat back is very thin, but also
well, and when the
power to weight.
engine is behind you, you know, it doesn't have such an accentuated squat. You get, you know what I mean, like
right. And also, there's a big power to weight difference.
Yeah.
You know, this has 750 S power or more actually, but it weighs 3,900 pounds.
Yeah,
I mean, it weighs 600 pounds more than a McLaren. Transmission's different, so like
my
some of that
guess is
sensation
more
there.
drivetrain loss also.
Yeah, it definitely less. Well, there's a longer distance for that power to go till it gets to the back wheels. But so I'm driving this thing and I'm going, I don't know if does it feel like 800 horsepower? And then I look down at the speedometer and I go, well, that's certainly increasing at a rate that I think would surpass some of the other cars we've driven that didn't feel like they had the power advertised, you know, that were based on the Mustang platform.
It's not so much that in the past I've thought they didn't. I thought that I'm sure that 7 whatever number was correct at the crank. I just never thought it made it out the tires. I thought it lost a lot in between engine and tires.
Yeah.
This one, it seems better. It seems better.
Seems more efficient.
Like the GTD, And the GT500 before it seemed, with that Tremec dual clutch, to have less drivetrain loss than the Getrag-based GT1s.
Yeah,
So,
maybe someone has to throw one on a dyno, or just look at, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
what a Mustang GT makes on a dyno. We could look real quick.
well, we'll see what happens. I think we're going to do this story for Road and Track. The next volume of Road and Track, the theme is numbers. So it's about data. It's about things like that. So one of the stories that I submitted for a proposal was a dyno tasting,
Oh, great.
where we take one car, some stock car, and bring it to 4 different types of dynos to see how they
That's
read
a good
out
idea.
The only one we wouldn't do is is take the engine out of the car and put it on an engine dyno.
All right.
That's a little too invasive.
So this is Mustang Forum from 2 years ago. They put a 2024 GT convertible, but they put it on a dyno stock car, and it made 408 to the wheels.
It's pretty
That's
good.
supposed to be 485 advertised, right?
Yeah.
24. So it lost 20%, a little
Yeah.
bit less, 15%.
50,
Yeah.
15%. That's about, like, usually if you lose, like, a really good car might be 8 to 10%, and a really bad one might be 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
So,
Someone else had a Mach 1. They dynoed it, made 409 to the tire.
okay.
So yeah, so that's kind of what they're losing.
Okay.
So 15%. So if 10%, 80 minus 120. So the RTR might
That's
be
160. Oh, 15% 160.
15% be like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably 600 of the tires. I mean, it goes.
Yeah,
Like,
6 plus to a tire.
Yeah, it's fast. I mean,
It's
it
fast.
it feels like a fast car.
It's a good time. It looks rad.
Yeah.
It is very expensive, but I'm going to do the math in the video. I don't think that is RTR and Ford trying to price gouge people. I think that is literally just our spending power has gone down so much
Yeah.
since the last time we drove like a brand new regular GT or Mach 1.
Well, the GT
Sucks.
that I drove on the launch 2 years ago was over 60. It was like 63.
Right.
That was a fully loaded, like, PP2 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then Dark Horse, the press car Dark Horse I drove was 74. So this has more, it's got more than that. It's got more than all that stuff. But it's just, when you start to talk about really expensive Mustangs, particularly now that the Corvette is mid-engined, particularly now that the Z06 has come down, there's no more ADM for Z06s. And it is not, I mean, look, money's real, I get it, but, like, it's not a huge gap to go from 107 to, like, 125 to get into a Z06. Like, if you're already spending 107, a Z06 at 125 is like, it's a huge difference in car.
Well, and also, you could get a fully optioned Z51, which is very good. You get performance pack, all that stuff.
For under 100.
Under 100. And that's a lot of car.
Yeah.
Different vibe, different look. Ford versus Chevy, of course. But
yeah, that's
just
like
fun.
if money's real. But if money's not real, and we're just asking the question, did Vaughn Gittin Jr. and his team do a very good job? I think they did.
They did.
They did do a very good job. So shout out to them.
Guys, got to take one more break from the action for StrapHabit. Dude, these straps. I love watch straps, right? I like to change up my watch all the time. I like to change the look with the season, the outfit, and now with some of these quick release straps, tool-less changing, I can change a watch strap in like 5 minutes. The StrapHabit watch straps is coming in hot. They have a ton of straps, a ton of different materials, all the important sizes. StrapHabit was started in 2019 by a big-time watch collector. His wife came up with the name after she noticed that he had a habit of strapping out watch straps, right? StrapHabit understands the effort and expense that goes into finding the perfect watch. But unfortunately, sometimes the included strap or bracelet is uncomfortable or doesn't reflect your style. That's like me. I've bought a bunch of watches that come on these like alligator straps, and I dress them all down with casual straps. They focus on involvement in the watch community, including collabs with many of your favorite brands and channels, even my Notice Canyon. There's a review on the StrapHabit blog that shows all the different straps that will fit the Notice Canyon. It's up there right now. Go check it out.
And they have all different places in the market where the right strap is not available, like deployant straps at affordable prices, different ranges of sizes, including the odd 19 and 21 millimeter for stuff like Grand Seiko and modern Rolex, unique colors you won't find anywhere else, and straps designed to accompany very large and very small wrist sizes. The StrapHabit straps feel really nice. I've got the rubber, the canvas. Their deployant clasp is really, really good. I would definitely recommend that. They've got so many 5-star reviews on their website and on Google Business. So get some for yourself. Get some for gifts at others at StrapHabit.com. Use code TST15 at checkout for 15% off your order. That's StrapHabit.com and code TST15 for 15% off. Lastly, we're brought to you today by TruWerk. Fall weather changes fast. It could be hot, it could be cold, it could be wet, it could be windy. I was just out there in Georgia and Tennessee last weekend, and it was all of those things in one day. And whatever the fall weather throws at you, TruWerk is performance workwear that's built to stand up to it because it matters. TruWerk was founded by a trade professional who was tired of wet, heavy gear weighing him down, and TruWerk set out to make workwear that keeps pros comfortable, capable, and ready for whatever the day throws at them. Designed with advanced performance fabrics for lasting comfort, all-day mobility, and year-round job site protection. Every piece is tested on real job sites with trade pros, so when the conditions change, you're still ready. They've got over 50,000 5-star reviews from pros in every trade and every climate. My favorite is the TruWerk pants. They are super, super durable. They look light. They feel light when you wear them. When it gets hot, they're not too sweaty, but they hold up to a bunch of washes. They hold up to being kneeled in the ground. When I'm like working around cars, I'm like up and down and kneeling around. They're really comfortable. They fit my belts like perfect. I've got their like cargo work pants, and they are super, super useful. So upgrade your day too with workwear built like it matters. Get 15% off your first order at TruWerk.com with code TIRE. That's TRUEWERK.com and code TIRE. And now back to the show.
Oh, and I have to address potential, hasn't happened yet, potential upcoming conflict of interest, and part of the reason that Zach did the video. RTR, starting in January, starting in January, they're going to be storing 2 press vehicles for a few months at WCCS. So, I haven't yet, but in a couple of months, I will be slightly benefiting financially from RTR storing their press cars. So there is a conflict of journalistic integrity there. Hasn't happened yet, but eventually.
Well, but I'm not benefiting from that, and so I drove the car.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you did the video.
Right. And my feelings, have similar feelings about the car, so.
I mean, I have given honest feelings as of you.
Yeah.
But for anyone who wants to discredit my honest feelings, here is some ammunition. I mean, it's as we talked about in a previous show, like, sometimes you can get accused of saying, well, you're not going to be honest about the car. You're not going to give a negative review of a car or be critical of a car because of your relationships with the people that are getting you those cars.
Right.
I think in a lot of cases, if I have a better relationship with the people getting us the cars, I'm more likely to bring something up. I think in our line of work, we want the cars to be better. Like, it's very satisfying to me to be critical of a car and then drive the next one and it's better.
Right.
That's enormously satisfying. So, an opportunity to be critical of a car and say that criticism to someone that you like and respect is a good thing, and you're not just going to blow smoke up someone's ass because they've flown you somewhere. Like, maybe somebody would, but I wouldn't. I would be
you do not.
I'm happy to be here, man, but like, let's talk about the steering. Let's talk about this or that or whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe this is something that could be changed, or maybe there's a reason it's the way that I don't like, but
That's why I was especially vocal to Hyundai about the steering in drift mode, because I'm like, this is just programming.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I know it's not the box.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I drove it in normal mode and it felt different. So why did you do this? I prefer it this way. Maybe they'll change that because all it takes is whereas
sure.
Ford steering, and I still have commented on it many times, like I know it's the tuning plus the box plus the system.
For sure.
They need to fix that.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, it's a really cool car, and we have that's a Spec 3.
Yep.
So we have a Spec 5 coming. The Spec 5.
That wasn't even on the list.
It wasn't even on the list. That's their new thing that looks vaguely like a GTD.
Whoa.
And I don't know the price yet, but it's like this motor, manual gearbox, but it has this like pretty aggressive body package on it.
Oh,
that
yeah,
looks
it does.
like kind of GTD-ish, right?
Yeah, it does. Especially in the front fender. The back of it is like
Well, it doesn't
black and open.
Yeah. Like the back, it keeps its trunk and stuff. Like a GTD has no trunk.
Yeah.
So this keeps its trunk, but we're gonna get to drive that, and I will give an honest review of that as well. But I think by then they'll be actually paying my business to.
Geez, that'll make
cars.
870 horsepower. Different intercoolers.
Good times. Good times.
And it's wide bodied, yeah, composite wide body, in front fenders, bumper, blah blah blah, carbon fiber. Jeez,
Did you try the drift handbrake?
I didn't try to drift with it. No, I did not.
I need to go try it. JR said I have to try it. I didn't really. When we had the Dark Horse, I couldn't quite get it. It wasn't acting right, but JR sent me his little how-to.
We should also ask him. The Dark Horse had really sticky tires on it.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, this is why drifters have hydraulic handbrakes, because the clamping force needed for tires that big and sticky is more than the e-brake. So, I don't know.
Well, they chose the tire that they chose, apparently, for this car, and I didn't go quick enough to get it to move around, really, but apparently they chose this tire because if you set it to, 32 PSI, you can get 5 degrees of oversteer coming out of every corner, and if you set it to 27 PSI, it can be super sticky.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I think it was Nitto.
Yeah, they're Nittos. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember which ones.
I don't either. Neat car, though.
Cool.
Did you see that Koenigsegg, with their ZR Spear, beat the Czinger 21C by a few tenths around Laguna?
I did not see that.
Yeah, they went out around and they beat him around Laguna.
Months after Czinger was
Yeah.
like, we did it!
Yeah.
Ow.
They're running low 24s at Laguna. That's crazy.
So fast.
I think I'm gonna get it wrong. I think the Czinger did a 24.6, and Koenigsegg did a 24.1 or 24.2. It was moving. I haven't seen the in-car video yet, but that's pretty amazing that they went out and got it back. The Koenigsegg does have 400 more horsepower. I think the ZR Spear is 1617.
1603.
Yeah, so it's got 300 extra
And
horsepower
with a 9-speed transmission.
Yeah.
All to the rear wheels.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I mean, the aero must be, downforce must be crazy.
On a track like Laguna, you're not using much in those front motors on the Czinger anyway.
That's true.
Right? Those die off around 80 miles an hour.
It ran a 124.16.
That's nuts. That's so nuts. That's so fast. My fastest driving time ever around that track is a 34.5. I'm
Lord.
10 seconds off that is my quickest lap ever there.
Let's see. The Jesco last year ran a 124.86.
Yeah.
So the Czinger
beat
was about
that.
a second slower.
The Czinger did a 124.6, and then he went out again and did a 124.4, I think.
This says 125.4. Sorry,
no.
that was in 2021. So
Yeah, and then he went out
Zinger's
again,
faster.
and then he did a 24.6 or 24.4. They got beat. That's so fast, dude. That's really fucking crazy.
Czinger did a 124.7.
Yeah,
Jeez.
respect.
Super fast.
What else did I? Oh, speaking of this, I forgot. Did you see that? So I got sent the story a bunch. Tremec has made their DCT gearbox, for the Corvette and the GT500. So they've made a gearbox that's the same dimensions and same mounting points, but it's a manual.
Whoa.
So it, in theory, opens up the door for manual conversions of C8 Corvettes.
Whoa.
It also, in theory, but like, I mean, the
computer programming.
the interior and the programming is a whole different story. But in theory, there is now a manual that fits there. But also, I think this gearbox could be used for other stuff, kit cars. You know, if you wanted to do some kind of manual build on like a Gallardo or maybe a Ferrari or something like that, I feel like maybe it could be used for that down the road.
That's very cool.
That's kind of neat.
That's
right?
very appealing.
But like a bunch of people sent it to me and they were like, manual C8's incoming. And I was like, ooh, I mean, that I just don't know if it works like that.
So, well, SEMA next year, you'll see some. Whether or not they work remains to be seen, because you got to get the computer to talk to the transmission.
Right.
And that's a whole ball of wax. Plus, like, the console, I think the parking brake is there. You got the hockey puck.
Yeah.
You have to cut that open and move that controller, but someone will do it for sure.
Yeah. But I thought that was kind of fun. And then the other thing is I wanted to talk about, we just announced our next Road and Track Experiences event. It's going to be in April. It's going to be a really good one. It's going to be Vegas with Las Vegas Motor Speedway outfield as the track day, the good one, the road course. Then we're going to go Valley of Fire, Zion.
Cool.
We're going to stay at a glamping place in Zion with these cool like tent cabin things. They're rad. And then from there to Sedona, and then from there to Scottsdale, ending in Scottsdale.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be a really, really fun one. It's going to be in April. I'm doing the scout for it in December, as soon as we sign our deals with the hotels. And it'll be really, really fun. Great weather. It's going to be beautiful, and the roads are going to be fun. It's going to be really nice. I'm super stoked.
Zion is a drive for convertibles.
Yeah.
I mean, the whatever buttresses, mountains and things above you, like, that is so worth looking up at.
Yeah. And it's high desert, so there's going to be those, straight open desert run sections, but there's also, because it's mountains, a few like pretty cool, tight technical sections. I'm down with it. I think it's going to be fun. We have great food, and anyway, that's going to be coming up in April. So we have 4 events next year, 2026, and so that's the first one. I'll announce them as they become final. But if you want to come drive with me, Vegas, Zion, Sedona, Scottsdale is going to be the route. It's going to be very, very cool. Should we go to the people, or do you have anything else? Do I have anything else on my notebook? I forget. I'm driving, so I don't want to be too notebooky. Koenigsegg. No, that's pretty much it.
All right.
Yeah.
Temple of the Dodge asks.
We should plug what it is.
Sorry.
Of course. Patreon. We love our patrons. Do you have an extra battery in your pocket for the time-lapse camera?
Yes.
Let's do that again. Of course, if you want to join the Patreon, what you get is live stream where it exists. You get to ask questions for the show, which we're about to get to. You get to get the show early. You get to get the show without ads. You get to get extra show once a month. You get to get access to exclusive merch collabs and brand collabs that we do, and a whole bunch more. Patreon.com/The Smoking Tire Podcast with the GoPro in the background.
Oh, that's the bad battery, isn't it?
That battery has 14%. I might as well run it into the ground. It's okay.
Then this is the good one.
Oh, wait, but why is this in video mode, though?
Well, because it's automatic.
Because it automatically
It's set to
defaults
one button
to
video start,
mode.
yeah.
Got it. Okay, let's try that again. This is BTS now. This is on the podcast.
There you go. Extra Patreon
BTS is me doing this while driving and answering questions on Patreon. This is the glamorous work of automotive journalism. All right, I have 14% battery time lapse on there.
I put a bad one in a pocket, and then
boy.
I forgot which pocket.
Do better with your batteries, Zach.
Yeah.
Wow, where is this cut? We're in the desert, and so the Valentine 2 is probably good for like 8 to 10 miles out.
Yeah, it's
here.
reading Nebraska.
It's so far away, but it's just
He might be moving with us,
beep
but
every
firing.
once in a while. Yeah. So let's see what the people have to say.
All right. User Temple of the Dodge says there are Jubilee clips and banjo bolts. What are some other goofy names for car parts that you know?
Oh, shit.
I think strut tower is kind of funny if you imagine it walking like in a fashion show.
Yeah.
Because, like, how often is the word strut used outside of the car world? It's used for a form of walking or a method of walking.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Oh, wait. This is one I should have thought of last night and really written down. So I think the word binnacle is kind of weird, which covers the gauge pod. What's it?
It's tough. This is a tough one.
Weird sounding names. Huh.
I don't know. I only had one.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've taken parts off that have weird names, but I know what they were. I just knew I needed them off.
Man, that is really, really challenging. What is a funny named car part?
Oh, what's the...
Toggle?
Toggle's kind of fun.
Manatino?
Isn't there something that's like the master gear or one of those?
Well, there's
things?
like the master and slave cylinders. There's
That's it.
Problematically named.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, slave. We can probably get rid of master and slave cylinder, I think. Primary and secondary.
Just do that.
Just do the bedroom thing. Whatever they did for bedrooms. Oh, is that the cop? Looks like cop.
That definitely.
Cop a mile ahead on the right, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep, there it is. Silencio.
The Karma Revero.
What's that? Karma Revero?
Christian says Johnny likes the new Karma Revero. Would we ever review it?
No. I reviewed that car when it came out in 2010. Go watch that.
Jeez.
It was called a Fisker Karma. It's the same car.
Same car.
Yeah.
All right. 2 girls, 1 cup 2R.
That's very good.
When you guys do Pete Cody,
that's performance car of the year.
Do you try to ensure every car has the same tires, or do you take what the manufacturer recommends is best for that car?
No, you have it has the tires that the car comes with from the factory. Almost every sports car now is developed with a unique tire, with a tire that's developed for that car. I mean, occasionally you'll get a boutique car company like Czinger, for instance, or SSC, where they go, oh, we pride ourselves on using an off-the-rack tire, which is usually just code for we didn't want to have the manufacturer develop a tire for us, which is fine. No, and then some manufacturers, like, for instance, the Honda Civic Type R was available with a very sticky tire and then also a road tire. And they would send us the sticky tire for the track work, and then the regular tire for the road driving, and that would be okay for us. I mean, as long as the tire it can be ordered or comes on the car from the factory, that's how we want to do it.
And the tests from you guys and other magazines will always mention the tires, because sometimes 2 cars that are direct competitors, if the only car that was shipped to you had all seasons versus the other car has like super track summer tires, that's mentioned because it's a valid point. It's important to, for the lap time.
I mean, the manufacturers know exactly what we're doing with the cars. So they either send us just the super sticky tires, and they'll send us a couple of sets of those because a lot of people driving, or they'll send us the sticky ones for the track and then the less sticky ones for the road, and we'll swap them over. Ferrari sent like 7 sets of tires, but we did find, like, for instance, back to the Honda Civic Type R in 2022 or 22, I think it was 22, maybe 23, whatever. The Civic Type R beat the Elantra N around the track by almost the exact amount that could be contributed to a cup tire versus a road tire. The Elantra N had like PS4Ss. The Civic had Cup 2s, and it was like 3/4 of a second a lap difference. Those 2 cars are the same speed,
which is amazing.
That was what really took the Civic Type R off of that pedestal for me, was actually the fucking Elantra is like $12,000 less, has better seats,
Yep.
and is actually just as fast. And no one's talking about it, whereas everyone's like fucking all over the Civic Type R, which has a better shifter and better pedals.
Looks better.
But otherwise, for the price difference, that it was like 35% more expensive.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So it matters at that price point. Anyway, yeah. Good question.
Lucid Gravity Bong says,
Oh, I love it.
some great names. Are there any modern turbo cars that give the feel of, quote, building boost, like the turbo cars of the 2000s? Feels like they're all linear now, and he wants more of a surge the way you got back in the day.
I totally. There are not a lot of turbo cars that do that kind of surge.
I mean, this is not really relatable, but like the Totem did that, and I think I commented it felt like an old turbo car.
Oh,
that's
you
did have to like
intentional.
build and build and build and build, but newer stuff.
Most new turbo cars
Yeah.
are really going for a flat torque curve.
Yeah, they're doing that on purpose.
I would say this: the manual transmission Supra has a good build.
Yeah,
I would say let's see.
Oh, you know what did?
Uh,
The Flat Six Motorsports 911T.
some aftermarket
Yeah.
packages tend to put that back in because
Yeah.
people want that.
And actually, I mean, the regular 911T did because the gearing is really tall.
Yeah.
For the power, so it definitely had like a build.
Subarus are really flat now.
Mm-hmm.
Volkswagen products are really flat.
BMW,
Audi products
very
are really flat. BMW is trying to get as instant as it can.
Yep.
Porsche V8s, they're going for flat. Yeah, nobody's really doing. You know
Well,
who's
'cause
doing it well? It's buried beneath some other technology, but that Mercedes 53 engine has a nice build, but it also has a mild hybrid.
Maybe like Vanquish, a new one.
Yeah, I mean,
Only
for
because the
400
engine-
grand, yeah.
Right, because it's a V12, so the power's up top plus a turbocharger.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is that all these companies know that if the earlier boost hits, the quicker your 0 to 60 time, the quicker your car, the easier it is to sell to beat your competitors. So now they've all had that same kind of
Right.
arms race. So
Totally,
that's where we're at.
totally.
Um,
The good thing is you can almost always tune that back in the aftermarket. If you have a turbo car and you get a tune, you can especially if you get a pro tune,
Right.
they can make it like that.
Yeah, you could say, here's the kind of power curve I want for what I'm doing. That's true.
But I do love older turbo cars for that reason. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I like waiting for the occasion.
Yeah.
Disrespectfully agree. I like that name. It says, I can't afford a CTS V. Is the Alpha chassis good enough for the V6 to be fun and engaging option?
The Alfa Romeo?
No, I think Alpha chassis CTS.
Oh, a regular CTS?
Yeah.
Oh.
I would
not get a regular
if
CTS.
Get an ATS-V.
Yeah.
If you're going to get a V6 Alpha chassis anyway,
Yeah.
get the ATS-V or get a CT4V Blackwing. I mean, the answer is like, yes, I think in the corners and the steering and the braking is all very good and balanced. Car's talkative and stuff. The engine just sounds meh.
All right. Sorry, we had an overheating camera, you guys. It's the perils of filming in the car. But now we've activated our dash vent.
See, if this was water-cooled, not air-cooled, it wouldn't overheat.
Dude, it would be crazy if we could come up with some kind of like liquid-cooled battery system for a GoPro.
That'd be very
it would
big.
be easier to have like a gel jacket for the camera.
Oh, like a cold one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing better than a center vent that can blow cold air on it.
Oh, yeah.
constantly.
Right. That's probably
No,
better than
the
that.
air is better than the hat for sure. All right. Well, we were saying about the Blackwing. Honestly, about the Cadillacs, I didn't love the CTS CT5 V-Sport.
Right.
But Johnny said that it was because I drove the all-wheel drive one, and if I had driven the rear-wheel drive one, it would have been fine. I have no evidence to support that, but like.
So this person said CTS V. So I'm wondering if they're looking.
Oh,
at
that's
the last
older
gen.
one. No, forget it. Skip it.
Yeah, I would go for a TSV
Yes,
at
give
that
it,
price.
for sure.
One last question, and then I have to pee. Says, considering your attitude, personality, and style, what is one car that you could choose as a representation of yourself? What?
I mean, I think my pink Spider is
I think
a
it
pretty
does.
good representation of myself. There's a contrast between what you see, the contrast between your first impression and what's underneath. But at the same time, it's like, it's a car that is like also just the right car for the occasion.
Right.
You know, and it's got aggression, but practicality, a little bit of custom touch, but not too in your face. Yeah, I would say.
It's loud, but
loud.
the thing that makes the noise is smart.
It's loud,
clever.
but backed up by some kind of performance.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Have I turned my heated steering wheel on? No, I haven't.
Okay, the hidden button.
That's funny.
We have not reviewed the Defender Octa. That was a question.
No, I just saw one parked in the street, though.
Oh,
First
really?
one I've seen, yeah. It looks nice. It's a very nice looking...
The shape
It
works.
looks so good, actually, that looking at regular ones afterward, they look kind of lame. It's such a fucking Jamal Hamidi production, that car. Everything about it says Jamal.
Dustin Bateman says, he listened to us describe all the time and cost and everything goes into making a video. Have we ever thought about doing a behind-the-scenes video showing the whole process from planning travel, behind-the-scenes filming, final product? That might emphasize the effort put into this review, although it has its own production costs.
No, I mean... I see where the question comes. That was the
right.
speedometer cam. I see where the question comes from. But I don't think it would be received well. I think it would come off as a little like, woe is me, look how hard I work, and...
Well, it sounds like I think the way to do you could do it it sounds like a vlog. You're like, hey, we got invited to this thing, and now if you're going to see me walking on the plane, and then you're going to see me sitting in a nice seat,
Yeah.
and then you're going to see us walking into a building, you know.
I've put elements of that into certain videos, like where being on a press launch was part of the story. The Aston DB12 and the Spider RS press launches come to mind, where I've included elements of and going to Morocco for Dakar, where I've included the elements of the travel, and particularly in Dakar where we had to go to a different country for a day on the way, like that kind of stuff. But the other bit isn't exciting. Like, I'm choosing which flight to take. I'm doing this. That's just not very exciting. I don't think it would make good content. And if just telling you guys on the podcast, here's what the process is, I think is as good as making a video of it, you know?
I mean, maybe we'll do it as a BTS Patreon video.
BTS Patreon, maybe. But,
value add.
Yeah.
Rolex LT Lariat King Ranch. I love that name. Today's their birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
What are the best car-related gifts for $10, $100, $1,000, and $10,000?
For $10, the best car-related gift is something like Hot Wheels versions of someone's car.
Yep, that's exactly right.
A fairly entry-level model version, or a cool vintage poster of someone's car, or maybe a thrift shop t-shirt. 10mm socket is a meme gift.
I think $100 you can get someone a good tool.
Dude, $100 is awesome. You could get anything we've advertised from Fantic. Any of those battery-powered blowers, tire gauge things,
the air compressor.
Air compressor, emergency roadside kit. That's your $100 right there.
Or how much is a AAA membership per year? I think it's if someone doesn't have that, that's a great
$85.
That's a great
for
$100
premium
gift
or something.
$1,000, I'd go with experience. I would say I go two things. Either you could do a driving school, like a one-day something, or tint. If you live in a hot place, ceramic tint's expensive. I mean, it's half of that.
Yeah.
But doing your whole car with ceramic tint, if you live in a very sunny area, will change your life and is literally probably healthier for your skin.
Yeah, but for $1,000, there's a lot. You could, if you're in a major city that has this type of thing, you could get someone a supercar driving experience.
Right.
You could take them on a multi-day road trip and pay for it. You could, take them to a destination that's not too far away, maybe doesn't require flights.
You can usually do drift schools for
Drift
that price.
school, yeah.
Road course schools tend to be more expensive than that now, but you can do a drift school for $1,000.
A single day, you could do a Porsche Experience Center day for like $600-700. That's pretty cool. You could also get someone like an amazing, super high level detail on their car.
Yeah.
Like a polish or whatever. You might be able to, at the lower end, get someone a set of wheels, someone a new set of tires. If they needed it, that kind of thing.
And then 10 grand.
10 G's?
10 G's.
Well, you could really customize somebody's car. You could get them some very high-end parts.
You could get wheels, tires, coilovers.
Yeah. You could get someone a supercharger or a turbo kit. You could do a proper racing school.
You could get your SCCA license.
Yeah, you could do a
full
0
NAFTA
to
course.
competition license at Spring Mountain for that, I think.
Or you could buy a car. You could also buy a fun car.
You could take somebody to the Nürburgring. That's about what that would cost. To fly to trip for 2 to the Nürburgring, including like 5 laps in a rented, prepped car. That's probably 10 G's. And that would be awesome. Like, if you got it, that's a no regrets way to blow 10 G's if you got it.
Ooh, another thing you could do with 1,000 to go back is you could get a shitty car and do an all cars thing.
Fuck yeah.
You could do a gambler type situation.
A disposable car that you do an off-road camping road trip with, you could probably get away with that for a G.
All right, Yellow Leadfooter says,
oh, that's very good.
Given the choice, would you choose the higher horsepower 2026 Carrera S or the old school manual of the Carrera T?
I would personally... Now, he says old school manual. Am I to take that as being the 7-speed? The new Carrera T has a 6-speed, but he says old school manual.
Yeah, but the new T is priced very close. Close to the Carrera. Not the S is more expensive.
I would rather have a manual T than a automatic S, because I could make the horsepower back very easily with any number of reliable brand name packages.
Yeah.
But there's no way I'm going to manual swap an S.
That's true.
And
the 7-speed.
Look at you, my boy.
That's a good spot.
Look at you with a good hiding spot. Not good enough for Uncle Matt.
Cop, for people listening, cop hiding around a blind right
Great
turn.
hiding spot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put the alert up here. I'm a good citizen of the road tripping world. And now I have a tail gopher. So a big car is blocking. So now I can go fast again.
I also think the 911T just has character to it. Where driving Carrera S is a very good car. It is very good at doing its job. But to me, it just has, like, walking up to it, I just don't feel like it's a special.
Well, I just road tripped an S. I just did 1,000 miles in an S a month ago. It was a fabulous car. Absolutely fabulous car. But the only real ways in which it was better than the T was the extra power. Other than that, you can make a T virtually identical to an S. I would take, if budget allowed, a 6-speed T with the 600 horsepower package from Flat 6. Not the 700 horsepower package, the 600 horsepower package, which has a little less turbo lag, a little more usability every day, but where the bottom end is going to be not even stressed out.
What was the MSRP of the S you drove?
It was expensive. The new S I drove was fully loaded.
Yeah.
It wasn't PTS, but it had extended leather, 18 ways, all the luxury options, and it was like $180.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
so expensive.
So the new T starts like $137.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get that and you can get the horsepower. You're good to go.
I would even take the T if it was the 7-speed. I'd rather have the 6-speed if money allowed, but I would still go with the T even if it had to be a 7-speed.
All right, Quadrifolio Face says, I'm eyeing a Taycan, but it's got the lame 14-way seats. Do you think I can put a single 18-way driver's seat in there?
Not worth it. Not worth it. And 14 ways are pretty good, dude. It's not like it's the base 4 ways. Yeah. Like a 14-way versus an 18-way, it's different, but it's not hugely different.
I would wager, and you should email a Porsche tech. but I would wager that the computer would get confused, and that would probably cause a problem. And then you have 2 seats in your driveway that don't work.
Dude, it's just whatever it would cost you to get a seat that matches aesthetically. I now you've got whatever that costs to get it to fit, get it to work, whatever. Those extra like 4 ways are, I don't know. I tell you the truth, I don't know what 4 ways they are. I couldn't tell you in which specific adjustable measurements.
Is it bolstering? Is it independent bolstering?
It might be independent.
It's probably that.
Yeah.
Because I think the 14 ways have lean, obviously, forward, back, up, down, and lumbar. I think it's the bolster.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think.
The bolster is only, well, yeah, it's fine.
Is that a cop with a customer on the right? It is. I really think that if you've
it's
got...
a semi-truck.
Yeah, I really think that if you've got 14 ways, if you sit in them, if they're comfortable for you, I can't see the math working out on swapping out a single seat.
I think we've been asked this before. The lottery ladder, like you win the lottery, how do you buy cars that are progressively faster? I swear we answered this question a few months ago. Basically, this person's like, if I won the lottery, I'd buy a GR86, then an A110, then a 911 ST, then a 750S, then an F40.
Oh, okay.
You know, so you're just, the car's getting more expensive and progressively faster.
Sure.
That's a good list. But I think we answered that.
Oh, is this frozen? My screen's frozen.
Otto Bon Jovi. Since we both grew up in other parts of the country and ended up in California, wrong, I was born in California. Do you ever see yourself retiring somewhere else? Yes.
Yes.
Or splitting time somewhere else in retirement like your dad does?
Well, look, I personally don't see myself ever retiring. The goal is to have work be optional and fulfilling, right? To have financial security so you could at any point say, fuck it, and go off and do whatever. But my long-term plan is to have something that keeps me engaged with the community forever. The shops do that. There's always customers coming and going. There's always events to go to. There's always new people to meet, interesting car collectors. And I can hang out at the shops as much or as little as I want. I mean, once the shops are built, once they're open, once they're running, it's not a lot of workload for me to, manage them. And I only need to be in a day and a half a week. And I can be out here doing this with you all the time, which is fabulous. So I could do that pretty much indefinitely. Having said that, if I'm not creating content in Los Angeles, which Los Angeles gives us so much from a content perspective,
Right.
I would happily move somewhere else and, come to LA, a few days a month to work, to see my friends, and then go back to wherever my preferred place to live would be.
Same,
So,
because it's a really expensive city. Sarah and I have definitely talked about long-term, like, retiring in 2 places because I love snow and she loves humidity and tropical water. And there's, we have discussed a lot about how we would retire in 2 places like that and just split time.
Yeah.
Because we enjoy activities in each of those climates.
For us, splitting time would be fun. My parents do it. They do a month. They bounce back and forth between their 2 homes about every 6 weeks, which, that actually sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does sound nice. And they have tons of friends in both places, which is great. With the cats, you can't do that. You could bring Tucker or, whatever. When you have 4 cats, that is not a reasonable thing to do.
Oh.
And Hannah and I have also said that there's nowhere we like enough where that's easy enough and convenient enough to get to from LA, where it's I'd want a vacation home somewhere that I could go to a lot. I'd rather, we'd rather either just have one house and take vacations and, or, I don't know, maybe a boat one day or something that's based here and we could go places or something like that. But when you have the cats, those really long periods of travel is limiting.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, for us, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
And, that is if there's no anchor keeping us in Los Angeles.
But, we're always going to have cats. There's no way we're not going to have
That's a
cats.
good point.
We're not going to be and when our current cats die, we're never going to get
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's true. All right. Carl's Mazda Ball Soup says, How does the 918 compare to a modern ZR1?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, it's very different. ZR1 is a naturally aspirated, that's not true. It's twin turbo. It's non-hybrid rear drive. It's pretty raw. Whereas the 918, the overwhelming sensations of that car are how settled it is, and how technological it is. The 918 sounds better. The engine is one of the best sounding V8s I've ever heard in my life. The ZR1 sounds cool. It sounds like they tried to do a Ferrari 488 kind of sound, and succeeded. But because it's turbocharged, a lot of the very best sounds don't come into the cabin. The ZR1 is probably quicker in a straight line and feels it, but the 918 has that sort of Starship Enterprise level of acceleration where it's a no drama, no wheel spin, just go. Whereas the ZR1 is fighting its own traction control system a little bit. The ZR1 is much more like a McLaren 750 than a 918. A 918 is separate from those other rear drive twin turbo supercar experiences. 918 is much more similar to the Temerario, actually, or the Revuelto, than to the ZR1
or NSX, but with
or the
power.
It's more like the NSX, but with an engine that actually sounds good.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ghost of Matt's sunken Porsche. We kind of addressed that. This is about the walls at Streets of Willow. I think they're temporary. They're working on it.
The walls?
People have complained about the tire walls at Streets of Willow now are dangerous for motorcycles. So I think the question is, are they going to make it safer for motorcycles? I have heard yes. I have heard that this is the short-term plan.
Yeah.
They've been working on it for like a few months.
Yeah.
Weeks. So, but yes, in the long term, they know motorcycling is a big part of the enthusiast group that attends Willow Springs, and so they're going to change that.
Yeah, I hadn't asked them ever about motorcycles specifically. Maybe that's an oversight on my part.
Well, but Corey did, and our friend Corey works
he's working
with them
too,
and
so.
has raced motorcycles.
Yeah.
And he has said, yes, there is a longer-term plan that involves moving the walls and making it safe for motorcycles.
Yeah, the current renovated Streets of Willow is the immediate emergency short-term, this is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Improve it by as much as we can without getting special permits. Because there's a line when you're doing renovations where it's like, below this, you don't need a permit. So they like, let's do this, what we can do right now while we're applying for our bigger permits. So I think that's part of it.
Let's see.
My hamstrings, dude. Oh, this is going to be tough. I'm going to have to major stretching this afternoon.
Yeah. And I mean, walking will probably make them feel better.
Probably
tomorrow.
hot tub as well. Leg day really fucked me up.
Yeah, hamstrings are hard. Jared asks, can we talk about how we logistically formulate thoughts for car reviews? Do we have a set of basic questions we always look to answer, take notes of what stands out, create an outline, etc.?
Do you have a real process?
I mean, I have things like I always just go, okay, I'm going to write down all the specs. And then I'm going to write down changes from whatever the car came from. So I gather a lot of info. That's always, I guess my process is I gather info, I gather a bunch of facts, drive the car, write pros and cons, and then I try to come up with like a thesis for the car at the top of the video that I'm going to try to talk about and, get to some sort of, in my experience with myself, a wandering conclusion at the end that I usually change to voiceover later.
Yeah, I mean, I do something similar where, I study the specs, right, the press sheet. And the process of not just reading the spec sheet, but I have a very specific, format I use when I copy the specs into my notebook. And the act of copying it over and writing it down puts it mostly in my head, the handwriting.
Yeah, definitely.
So doing that, writing it down, comparing it to the old one, okay, it has more power, more torque, power band's wider, okay, but the weight has gone up, okay, but it's got this, and this.
And then it's really, the flow of the video happens in the flow of what I'm feeling. How does it feel pulling out of this driveway? How does it feel accelerating the speed? How does it feel braking and turning into the first corner? And then that really just kind of comes out in the video, and when you do enough of them, it naturally leads from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, as you're assessing those pieces as you interact with those pieces.
Yeah, with writing is different. Writing, you need to find something out in the real world that's outside the car, or a thing from history, or a thing from pop culture, to connect it to tie it together. Open your thought in the beginning, and then talk about the car and go back to the end. That's a little harder than trying to do that in real time in video. Supposedly there's a Policia somewhere.
All right. Tim A says, do we see a future where Porsche creates a 911 on a carbon tub chassis the way Roof does?
I mean, eventually, maybe.
I think, the hard thing for them is that the 911 has to be a T and a Turbo S and a GG3 RS.
Right.
So,
Did I?
and they make a lot of them, they mass produce them. So to mass produce that many carbon tubs would probably be cost prohibitive. But I could see them doing, how do you make the special editions more special?
Yeah.
And they could say, all right, now the new GT5 RS, we'll call it, or the new ST is a carbon tub car. And it's, call it the 911K did. They go, this is now going to be $700,000, but it is so different from all the other ones below it in that way. I could see that happening.
I think they'll have a halo car above the 911 that is a carbon tub car, but I think they're more likely to use 3D printed parts from Czinger and stuff like that in 911s than they are to use.
That will happen before
Yeah.
carbon tub will happen for sure. And now with their new financial troubles and their profit dropping by 90% or whatever, I don't think they'll have a halo car, or at least they won't announce one for quite a while. Joe Manchin's Glickenhaus boat says, what gear select knob control stick in... Wait. What gear knob or shifter or whatever do we love in cars, and which ones do we hate? He hates the Prius shifter, even though the rest of the car is great.
Oh.
Well, the 19, you hated the little...
I didn't. The little razor one. It was just old. You'd have to manually release the parking brake every time. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm used to. It's basically this shifter here. I'm used to that. Manual shifters like the Ferrari 360 and 430. Any Ferrari gated shifter is great. Civic Type R, the entire Honda shifter from S2000 to Civic Type R.
Even NSXs, though, back in the day, I thought those were great.
Yeah, my NSX is pretty good.
I like old school Hurst shifters. If they're, on a good, motorsport transmission, they feel great.
The GT3's 6-speed is really good.
911T1's pretty good.
The 6-speed
pretty
one
good. Yeah,
is
the 6-speed's
fine.
pretty
The new one,
good.
6-speed is fine.
BMW shifters are gotten better, but I would just say there's more it just feels like there's more rubber separating you from the action because they're trying to make it a more comfortable experience, I guess, than something like, Corvette, back with the 6-speeds, they had a lot of feel, but they were hard to move. Mm-hmm. It's like this, it's the heaviest weight shifter. It's the weight of it and the notchiness of it, so you know where your hand is and where the gear is. I do appreciate that, but the weight was annoying.
What about the 0406 Ford GT shifter, which is one of my favorite shifters of all time?
I've not driven one of those.
It's so beautiful to use. It's never been topped, I think, since. And that's a lot of good ones. Okay, what about bad ones?
I still don't like the Ford hockey puck. I know that it keeps the cow, and it works on the Mach-E for me. But when I get in a Mustang, that especially when it has a lot of power, and then I just spin this wheel that always feels like it's lost some teeth in the gear, even when it's brand new.
Yeah.
There is something so unsatisfying about the action of just turning that thing.
I really don't like PRNDL 4 buttons across the...
Completely agree.
I really don't like that.
Lincoln did that. Yeah. Buttons on the dash is not very good.
In terms of manual shifters, there's a bunch that just don't feel very good. I think we just drove that the Subaru WRX shifter stinks. The current one.
Oh yeah, that wasn't
It's
very
just
good.
Not fun.
Which is surprising because like the GR86 shifter is pretty good.
Yeah.
The regular Supra, you said the shifter was not good, but then once they did the GR edition, they had improved it a lot.
Wait, what? No. The manual Supra? Oh. No, the manual Supra shifter is better.
Oh, sorry.
What I said is it's better. That shifter, considering it's a BMW powertrain,
Right.
the Supra shifter feels nicer to me than most modern BMW.
Right, that's what it was. They tweaked that a little bit.
Yeah. The Z4 version of it, I think, is only average.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. The Z4 shifter is nice when you're driving at 6, 7 tenths. When you're really ripping it, it's not that great. Yeah, that's some.
John Hennessy, you next Tuesday. That is funny. This person's 23. They just moved out to San Diego, I think, on their own with a job. Their parents were always boring and pragmatic with cars, so he wants to give them a middle finger lovingly and buy something that is the most 23-year-old daily driver possible. They want some enthusiast cred and some speed, but at least a few safety and daily driver comforts. They're thinking for 20 grand of a C5 Z06, but would love to hear other options.
20 grand a C5 Z06. I think the most 23-year-old San Diego car ever is a BMW 335 with a super burble tube.
That is very true. Yeah.
That's so San Diego.
It's very, or like a clapped out F80 M3.
Yeah.
Actually, those are more expensive than that.
That's probably going to be over 20, but like a 135i or like that, or 235i.
Yeah.
Super burble tune.
Or
will get you there.
A high mileage convertible E90. Or E92 or an E93, I guess it's called.
If you want Corvettes, like C5 Z06s they're just really old now, and they were built like shit when they were new. So like the good thing about them is the powertrain is very robust, and they're very fast for what they are. They're light, and if you want to turn a lap time, big brakes, sticky tires, and a set of coilovers, and you're right there, and you're like almost running like 911 GT3 lap times.
Yeah.
But like they're also rattly shit boxes, and I say this as someone who has.
They are. What do Camaro SSs cost now? Like fifth gens?
Yeah, I mean they're under 20 for sure.
That's a
You
lot.
might even be able to get a 6th gen
Right.
car.
Sixth gen. Like that's a pretty good car. A little more livable than a C5 for sure. More comfortable trunk, or actually smaller trunk, but it has a back seat.
Yeah.
Or get a Slam G35 if you're that person.
Totally.
All right. The Rainbow Shakes Shroom. I can't see the whole name. Oh, nope, I still can't. Jerry Seinfeld said he prefers the 918 to the Carrera GT, which was surprising to Spike and Doug DeMuro. How do you feel about that?
That's interesting. As far as I know, Jerry doesn't like crazy cars. Like, he doesn't like cars that are known for being, like, ragged.
Yeah.
He's a little more, so I think he probably likes that he can use his 918 a lot, and it's a little more, like, normal. Yeah. That does surprise me, but he doesn't think about cars the same way that I do. He thinks about them a little differently. So, yeah.
Education through Lancia Delta says, I'm trying to decide between a Focus ST and a 2011 Plus Mustang. My daily drive consists of about 30 minutes of interstate cruising at 75 miles per hour. Is the Focus's engine comfortable for that long, or should I stick to the Mustang? They're about the same price in my area. Interesting.
I mean, it's more like, do you want a front-wheel drive car or a rear-wheel drive car?
Yeah.
These are hugely different experiences.
Like, neither engine should have a problem
No,
cruising on the highway.
No, it's fine. Focus ST, it's like 240 horsepower. Like, you
Is
can
it inline
definitely go down the highway just fine in one of those.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Gas mileage might be the same. I don't know off the top of the head.
But it's more just like a front engine Mustang is a very specific driving experience. And a front-wheel drive hatchback is a very... That's okay, we don't need that one anymore. It's a very different kind of driving experience. The Focus will feel a little more European, whereas the Mustang is very much, it'll handle okay, but it's very much a muscle car vibe.
Yeah. I think if I was getting a straight commuter car, it's very much what you want. The Mustang is going to be a little more vibration because of the engine, and the hood's very tall. I mean, in the 2011s, the visibility is better than the new ones, but there's a little more vibration to it, so that might bother you. But they're such different cars. You just have to drive them both and decide what you want.
Yeah.
Interesting comparison. Would we take a brand new GLC 63 with the hybrid or a slightly used X3M?
X3M.
Yeah. The 63 hybrid four-banger
Dude, it's
is
out.
just not working for me.
I don't know if you can get a GLC 53 with the 6-cylinder. I don't know if you can. I haven't looked. If you can, that's the one.
Yeah. How do we know when it's time to... Oh, this is from Miku. How do we know when it's time to move on from a car? I've had it for almost 10 years, done every model under the sun, and I've done all kinds of adventures with it. I have sentimental attachment, but I want something new. So, what do you do?
I mean, I've never, not never, but I'm very rarely been sentimentally attached to a car in a way that would keep me from selling it if I was over it. If you do the things, then you're when I'm going through my car journey, I eventually just get to a point where I don't really feel like driving that today. And then I don't really feel like driving that this week. And then I don't really feel like driving it this month. And once I look at it not being driven for a month or two, I go, guess I'm over it. And then I sell it, and I really never think about it again. I couldn't tell you. There's a couple cars in my history where I was like, the trade I made there wasn't great. Maybe I should have held on to that for a little longer. But it's not like I need to go back and find that car now and get it back. I don't have any regrets.
I think this person, look, you've modded it, you've done it, and you say you've done all kinds of adventures with it. Those are the things I want to do with a car. And I haven't sold my car because I haven't done all the adventures I want to do yet. But if you have had all the memories, you've done all the things, I would say have a friend with a great camera take cool pictures of it, print a poster so that you always have a great, a picture poster of the car, and then move on. And then when people say, oh, what car is that? You go, oh, that's this thing. I did this with it. You can tell the stories, but you don't need to have it in the garage. You can use the money or the time or whatever to do new things, make new adventures, have new experiences. Because it seems like you've done it.
That's true. I have pictures of a couple of my older cars hanging around the office. After a while, that's as good as having the real thing.
Yeah, it primes the story and the memories, and that's what you're doing. Johnny Evie Gierberman. That's funny. Lucid Air Pures are now $33,000.
Wow.
How much of a bargain is that?
A fucking bargain. That's like a no-brainer level bargain.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, assuming that the service network of some kind will exist. Although, I used to worry about that, and now that I see people driving Fisker Oceans around, someone out there will figure out a way to fix anything, and you can pay them to keep it going. So, that's an amazing car for that money.
$33,000, dude, that's a ton of car.
Yeah.
I mean, it legitimately does feel like a six-figure car.
Mm-hmm.
Not a deep six-figure car, but a six-figure car nonetheless.
Yeah, it looks like a spaceship, inside and outside. Let's see. Emmett Fitzhume, is there a good reason I shouldn't get a 996 C4 and turn it into a safari-style car? The roads where I live suck, and I'd like to take it skiing. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, there's not,
There's no reason to not do that.
There are reasons to not buy a 996. You probably already know what they are, but, there isn't a reason other than money to not make your car ready for winter.
This is interesting. What is our Mount Rushmore of corny car culture behavior? Some examples. This is from Shep. An Instagram handle sticker on your car.
That's up
fake
there.
up badging. Buying your
up
own,
there.
quote, sponsorship stickers and putting them on your car as if you're sponsored. That's hilarious. Porsche nerds who'd rather discuss paint to sample colors on their GT3 than lap times and camber angles. All right, so basically, what is the top worst behavior in our opinion?
I mean, there's the Ferrari guy who put his window sticker on his fucking on his whatever.
That's very...
SP3 is pretty up there. Instagram handle on your car, pretty up there. That's pretty bad. Intentionally installing a fire tune and then just making fire like at traffic lights is pretty bad.
Or, the gunshot tune, which is
Yeah.
what it's called for BMWs and other cars, is terrible. I think
Fake up badging is pretty bad.
that's one of the worst and funniest. I don't see it as much anymore. I think if you get a exotic car and you get the most track-focused version, like Ferrari Fiorano or GT3 RS or anything where you've added all the wings and stuff, and your mileage remains so low it's clear you don't go to the track,
Right.
that should be up there. Like, you are cosplaying to the nth degree.
Yeah. The Porsche guys talking about paint to sample colors does not bother me the way it bothers other people. I don't think they can help themselves. And the fact is, you can get one of those cars in basically any color you want, and that makes it interesting and unique compared to other cars. And so I think that that's totally fine. I'm not that offended by that.
Yeah.
Especially because people ask me about the color of my shit all the time, so I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house. Yeah. No, fake up badging is pretty bad because the only people who notice are the people who know it's fake. You're not fooling anybody.
I would add driving a G-Wagon and saying it's a commercial vehicle when it's probably not. That would be up there.
Or, dude, how about just straight up registering your car in Montana, even if it could legally be registered in California?
Why did I forget that? Yeah, it can be, and you can afford it, and you're like, well, I want to save the money.
Just
like, well,
open tax evasion.
Then go move there.
Is my fucking mine, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's the top. Panic, stop at the disc brakes. That's funny.
Well, that's pretty good.
I'm starting to see, on occasion, Australian Ford Falcon XR6 and XR8 listings on Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer. I've been intrigued by them, but they seem irrelevant when the Pontiac G8 and Chevy SS are available for a similar experience. Have we had any experience with those cars?
Never have, but I absolutely understand the appeal of just wanting to drive something that's different. And I think if you wanted to get a mostly normal, a high performance sedan that is mostly normal, it's a fucking Ford, but something you could bring to a car show or a Cars and Coffee that people go, I've never seen one of those before. They have the turbocharged 6-cylinder engines. They're pretty cool.
They're strong too.
Yeah,
They make a lot of power.
There is something to be said for being different, and it's not like they're shit boxes. Like, I don't know anything about them. I've never driven them, but they seem different and interesting. And if you wanted a sedan that you could put your family in that, is going to be weird in America, but isn't like a complete fucking wild card, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Matt's missing Countach part. Leave cars for a moment. What's the silliest disagreement you've ever had with your wives?
Oh. Do you have one?
I do. We have like a running thing. So I oftentimes, my reaction to being like, not criticized, but like corrected about something is I'm just averse to it for reasons we don't need to get into. But I almost always recognize that my wife is right. I'll say we should do something, and she goes, "What if we do it this way?" And I'll just say, and now the joke is I'll say no, and she goes, "Is that because it's a worse idea, or because you just don't want to do it?" And I go, "Because I just don't want to do it. You are right. That is smarter. We should do it that way. But for a moment, I'm going to say no," and then we crack up, and we do it like every week.
That's pretty funny. This says take the H to the Hove. Okay. I don't have...
I'll say, okay, let's carry our stuff down to the car. And she'll go, well, why don't we wait a minute, and then we'll wait till the groceries get here because we need that in the car also. And I go, no.
So the main silly... Hannah doesn't know the value of her own time. And I do. And I know the value of my time because it's all I have, right? And so Hannah will spend a lot of time and energy doing things that don't return any value, monetary or otherwise. So she'll buy some very cheap thing, and then it doesn't like it, and she'll have to go all the way back to the store to return it, and she'll have spent a half hour doing this to get like $6 back on a whatever, when it was $100 of her time that she spent doing this. And so I regularly have to remind her of what her hourly rate is, and she doesn't. She'll waste all kinds of time. So that's the main one. She doesn't want to know. She gets satisfaction in returning the thing.
Yeah.
It's part of her whatever process.
Or like her selling things for very low money on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah.
That always makes me laugh. Last two, perfect timing. We've got 8 minutes. All right, Heavy Gravy says, given all the discussion around press events, what was the best press event with the worst car and the worst press event with the best car?
These are really easy. The worst press event with the best car, ironically, Spain. The worst press event is the one with bad seat time. Like, I know it's hard for people to believe this, but I don't really give a shit what hotel we're at or where we are. It makes no difference for the video, and it makes no difference for me other than the novelty of saying I've been to a new place. Like, we're not on vacation. We're there to work. It's nice that a hotel is nice, but I don't give a fuck. What I care about is the seat time good? Do I get to experience the car in a variety of ways? Do I have enough opportunity to create content that's going to be good, etc., right? So it's hard for me to say best for the worst car, because it's been a very long time since I've been on a press launch for what could be considered a bad car.
Right. There's just not many bad cars anymore. We get invited.
We're not going to the new Corolla launch or whatever. We're going, with respect to Toyota, but the stuff we're going on is like fairly high end. So like there was a Lotus event that was like,
oh no, that's the one. I went on the Lotus Elettre launch.
Yeah,
which was a cool event in Norway, and you get to see a new place. And blah, 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 blah. And the car was had tech that didn't work because it's just like Volvo. They had this radar that eventually will happen. The mirrors that we can't get in the United States, but I had to experience them there anyway. And the car is, a 6,000 pound electric Lotus that looks weird. And it looks like Temu, Urus.
Yeah.
And now they're not even around here anymore. And they're very expensive. So that was the worst car in a good event.
I went to, and also a Lotus one, was the Evora GT, which was at Gingerman, and it was like a Holiday Inn, Subway sandwiches, and 7 hours of track time. Like, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, that's a great
That's
event.
that to me is like peak awesome. Like, don't care about the food, give me all the track time. So, and then
worst event, best
worst
car.
event for best car. I mean,
I think that's that one. Probably,
that's probably it. Yeah, best event for worst cars is really hard. I can't recall going on a great event for we went to remember Vegas, Mandarin Oriental, full day at Spring Mountain.
Yeah.
It was for the Hyundai,
Genesis
the
Coupes.
Genesis Coupe and the
3.6 and the 2.0.
Elantra or something. Yeah.
We were driven out there in the Genesis. What do
Sonatas.
they call it back then? Yeah.
It was Hyundai Sonata and Genesis Coupe. And neither of those cars were bad, but that was a pretty big money launch with a lot of track time and nice hotels for a whatever car.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
All the journalists left the track early, and there was a line of cars.
Just us.
And we literally would do 2 laps, pull in, get out, walk to 2 other cars, and then do laps. And, that was great.
That was cool.
And John Krafchick hung out with us.
But I also, I went to Spain once. I talk about this a lot, being the worst press launch I ever went on. Fucking 15 hours of flying to Spain for 6 or 8, I don't remember, it doesn't really matter. I think maybe 6 laps around a wet racetrack, lead follow in an Audi R8 GT with an embargo that was either on Thanksgiving Day or the 4th of July. So it was just just like punch in the face after punch in the face.
Yeah, it was challenging. There were a couple years where a lot of the embargoes were like midnight on Thanksgiving was like, because, you know, it doesn't matter to the rest of the world.
Germany.
But, you know, the largest car market in the world.
Thanksgiving at 3 p.m.? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
You crazy?
They've done it a few times.
So that was you know, nothing wrong with an R8 GT. That's a lovely car. But, like, to fly that far, I mean, that's 2 hours of air travel for every lap of racetrack. That's awful.
You know, like, a funny one is this trip to South Korea, the first car I drove, which I drove for 8 hours. No, 9.5 hours. The Nexo, the hydrogen car, like, comfortable, radar, like, all the functionality was good, and they've got these new screens for mirrors, but you don't want to own one here. You can't drive it in any other state other than California. So, like, in some ways,
well, and even
that's a bad car.
That's the most fucking whatever car ever. Like, it's not like it's exciting to drive.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same as, you know, any regular Mach-E or anything else.
Oh,
it's
for
just
sure.
like,
yeah, for sure.
Just feels like an EV.
Yeah. I mean, there's launches. I mean, there's a lot of these mommy bloggers and, like, not even just mommy bloggers, like a lot of journalists that are like our friends have young kids and will get invited on launches like I think the minivan in Hawaii. Yeah, bring your whole family to Hawaii and take them on this trip in this minivan, which for me would have been stupid and boring, but for them is like, you know, a pretty good time.
When I've heard a lot of those, they offer activities out, like driving's not the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, just tell us what you want to do while you're here.
Yeah. But to fly a long way, have no seat time, and have the car be something that's nice but iterative. Mm-hmm. Like R8s are great. They're great cars. But by the end of the R8 production run, nobody gave a fuck. Oh, this is the performance. Oh, this is the GT. Like, nobody cared. So it was like a bunch of like things that were against that.
The MC20 Stradale plan, before it was changed on the ground for us, thankfully, by someone at Con Media, was like, you get 3 laps in the car.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And that's it. We flew to Spain, and it was they really fought for us when we got a couple sessions. But the plan, and other people had to adhere to that. I feel bad for them. Was they flew to Spain and they drove for 6 minutes?
Yeah. Which car was that?
MC20 Stradale.
Oh yeah, that's no good. You can't have people flying that far to drive so little.
Well, it's just not a good use of that person's time, but it's also not a great way to demonstrate the abilities of the car. And in this case, it's a car with all the aero, downforce, quicker this, bigger brakes that. Like, it's the track version of the MC20. You should let people get to know it because this is meant for driving on a track. So why not let them drive it on a track for more than 5 minutes so that they can actually get to know the thing?
Oh, and that was in Ascari too, right?
Yeah.
That track is too complicated to learn it in fucking 3 laps.
Sure is.
You cannot learn that track.
It's complicated in 6 laps.
There's like 19 corners there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And elevation, and a lot of the turns are blind. Totally.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you know, when I went to a pretty country and, you know, top line item, stayed in a nice hotel, drove a nice car, but the people that really give a shit about this job, and there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us. More people do this job that really give a shit about doing it than don't. You know, they want the seat time. Yeah. They don't really give a fuck about. There's a couple of them old school guys that are on permanent vacation. Yeah, admittedly, they're still out there.
But look, what got us into this job is driving.
Yeah,
because when we read the magazines, I can't remember ever reading, like, the hotel was like, no one ever described the environment they were brought to. It was about, here's the car, how's it drive? So that's what we wanted to do, and that's what excites us.
Well, and the audience doesn't give a shit. The audience doesn't care where you've reviewed the car. You go where you have to go to drive the car. It makes absolutely no difference. But there's just a very clear. Look, I understand that most people can't go on fancy vacations right now, and maybe never will. And it does seem like you're going on a fancy vacation because you're going on a curated experience. You know who's on a kind of a fancy vacation? the fucking manufacturer executives that get to sit there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but
They're working.
They're working.
They're working.
They,
I'm not taking away from, but like you know as well as I do that a lot of these destinations are chosen because the executives want to go there.
Sure.
Like remember like, oh wait, do I go left here? Remember like the decade of Tenerife, where like somebody at Porsche was fucking somebody in Tenerife.
It was a joke. Yeah, it was a joke. Allegedly, someone has to have a mistress here because this is just too many visits to the same place.
We're going down there.
So you turn left and right.
Left and right, yeah.
These folks have to go. Like they got to keep picking places on Earth that fit these criteria of driving and access and all these things. There's only so many places. But anytime I talk to those folks, they on week 2, like they're tired. They've eaten the same thing. They've had the same conversations. They're getting up early. They're going to bed late. It's a grind for them.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's just and you know what? Fancy hotels can still have terrible bedding,
bro,
doesn't breathe, and you're sweating your face off. And in Europe, the air conditioning does not cool the room enough.
Dude, you're not wrong. I've stayed in hotels that had great restaurants, really, really nice lobbies, a good bar, and all that stuff. And then the bed sucks. Oh man,
just bedding's made of like a grocery bag.
Yeah,
you know immediately it's not plastic. It's not breathing.
Yeah. We do this job voluntarily. We love it, but it's sometimes.
Can I say the density of restaurants per 100 feet on this strip mall is record holding.
Real serious. Well, here we go. We're gonna try the 00 artisanal pizza and bar at 10:30 in the morning. Breakfast pies, baby.
All right.
Thanks to our patrons. Shut up. Thank you to our patrons for asking such good questions today. We like to do shows in the studio where possible, but we got to drive to Utah. What you gonna do? And we'll see you guys back in studio next time. Thank you so much. See you later.